So I wanted to show you one quick concern here, just so you should be aware, because this is something that'll cause problems in Unreal later. I showed you guys how to make a table. This is a variation of that project, but done as a chair. And just so you know, I added these by making separate shapes and then adding them on there. So, but it's, you can see how combining what you just did with the mug, with what you did with the table, you can end up with more cool stuff. And I moved some things around, add a little bit more natural sloping. And this is actually just built off the IKEA chair. So what I wanted to show you here, though, is some of the tricks that we're using result in things that are bad for Unreal. So, for instance, I've been showing you how to use bevel all the time, but here's why it's bad in Unreal. As you see here, we have basically this shape is what's called a quad, meaning it has 4 corners. And you can see most of these shapes we have are quads, and that's fine. What Unreal can deal with quads. And basically, we want everything in here to have either be a tri, meaning a triangle with 3 sides, or a quad, a thing with 4 sides. Just so you know, everything that gets into the GPU is basically it sends tries. So what happens is when we put this in Unreal, in a simplified way, it's going to split it in half anyway. It's no big deal. But the problem is we don't want things with more than 4 sides. The reason why is it adds more computation, causes problems in Unreal. We want to make sure things have no more than 4 sides. If we were just modeling this thing from scratch, it's no big deal. The problem is I use some of these Maya tricks such as bevel, and now this object has basically each one of these basically is another side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever sides. And that's not good. So what I can do is I can select the whole object here and go to Mesh, Cleanup, and it's going to take care of some of this stuff for me. Now, again, this stuff is still going to work in Unreal, but you'll get all kinds of warnings. This cleanup also helps things too, where let's say later you do a bunch of tricks and you have, say, a face gets folded onto itself, or some of the initial things I was showing you with moving points around and the geometry just gets weird. Cleanup can help with some of this. So I'll go to Cleanup. There's a lot of different possibilities here. It says, clean up and apply, all that. We can change 4-sided faces. I'm okay with 4-sided faces. The reason why is Unreal is cool with that. Faces with more than 4 sides, so that is a problem. Non-planar faces is something we might want to later. I mean, I can turn this on. We don't have these problems now. Sometimes you'll end up, if you keep working in across Maya and stuff, like if you make things using other methodologies, sometimes you have to bring it in and clean it up, such as we have 3D scanning, which causes all kinds of weird things. If you've seen the 3D scan of my head, that was how I had to do this. Anyway, watch this one, a quad poly. It's not a quad yet. This poly here, when I hit cleanup, basically it doesn't look pretty, but what it did there is it went and cleaned it up for us. So it turned all of these things into a few tries. It's not great. It's not pretty. So you might want to do this as sort of a last round of things when you're ready to clean up, because it makes it harder to now manipulate if you were going to do stuff with it. But just so you know, it is a possibility here. We also have possibilities as well in terms of there are some things such as reduce, which you're not really going to want to do here, but can help later on. Let's say you bring in a model that's too complicated and has more stuff in there. This is going to make it look terrible, but just so you can see when I hit reduce. Oh, actually, it's cool with it. Oh, you know what? I don't have an object picked. That's why it doesn't want to do it. Close, mesh, reduce. It's funny, I'm trying to make it do stuff that's wrong. Reduce. Yeah, see, so I'm reducing it, and you can see it's we're using so few. This is a very optimized object already, but if it had, say, a ton of curves and stuff like that, we can reduce the amount of things in it. Not looking great on this one. Anyway, I mainly wanted to show you cleanup. The next video, we're going to get stuff ready for texturing.